Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are not actually going to react to anything. Um, this is kind of an unusual video and I do not have the equipment to do this correctly, but I really honestly just felt like rambling for a bit. Um, just talking about, music, about hip-hop, um, yeah, just getting some thoughts out of the way that I feel like I always wanted to say in some form, but never really got to because either I didn't talk about it or I didn't have the people to talk about it, and I thought, well, why not put this out there in form of some podcast thing now. I don't know if this might be something that is gonna reoccur a lot in the future. Might even have guests on for this rambling stuff, but could also be that it's going to be a different form of podcast. Maybe if I can keep this as kind of a rambling thing that I'm going to do for myself, and I've always wanted to do kind of a podcast where there's a set list of topics you're gonna talk about, and yeah, I actually thought about doing that with some of my friends, but thing is, I don't think we would have a lot of time to just film that stuff or listen to things, or just do. I don't think there would be the time to create that thing, but yeah, without further ado, I mean, this is kind of a rambling podcast, but I don't want to ramble on for no reason at all. So there was actually just kind of a reason, a topic that I wanted to talk about, but as an example and just as an introduction to this video, so it doesn't get boring too fast, we're actually going to take a look at my Spotify Premium Wrapped thing, because I haven't really done it so far. I mean, I've looked at it shortly, but there was never really any deep look into what I actually did listen to the most, or what Spotify thinks I listen to the most. And yeah, so I thought we might as well just go through what I listen to the most. So this is in German because I'm from Germany, so you're probably not gonna understand this, but it says that in 2019 my sound very much changed with the seasons, and that is actually something I am mostly doing intentional. I have always kind of felt like, depending on the weather, depending on the seasons, I always kind of listen to different music. In the winter, I listen to more more calming music, sometimes depressing music. Um, yeah, just very melancholic stuff, and I mean that pretty much fits, I think. I mean, we got Kendrick over here, we got Boogie, whose album Everything for Sale you should for sure check out. It's probably one of my favorite albums of the year for sure. It's really good. I think it was really underrated by a lot of people, and yeah, Boogie's actually an example of an artist. I mean, a lot of rappers do this. A lot of rappers try to sing at some point in their career, and it works out for some. It doesn't work out for some others. For Boogie, it strangely works, even though he is not a good singer. He has this very nasal tone, not a very pretty voice for sure. But the thing about him is he knows how to write melodies. It's really interesting, to be honest. He just knows how to, write clever melodies that are gonna stay in your head and that are really pleasant to listen to. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what he's doing on his album. Not to underestimate his lyrical ability, obviously, but yeah, he's really good at writing melodies, and I really enjoyed his album, as well as the lyrics are so good on his album. It's probably one of the best lyrical albums of the year. And so yeah, But it's actually really true that the sound changes with the different seasons, even though it's still very much, pretty much the same. You know, in spring I'll listen to Boogie a lot as well, Kendrick, because Kendrick is just. I think Kendrick is also my most listened to artist of the decade. So no surprise to be had there, but yeah. Also, Dominic Fike, because I really got into Dominic Fike early in the year. If you don't know who he is kind of a new artist, pretty much popped out of nowhere and just started getting huge streaming numbers. And he's a really dope artist, and I really enjoyed his music because it was, you know, in spring I always feel like there's sort of this feeling of, it's, you know, you're feeling quite good, you know, summer's about to start and everything, so yeah, not as melancholic as winter. Then in summer, there's actually, yeah, disregard this. This is some podcast I started listening to or listened to once. But yeah, Kevin Abstract's solo album came out in summer, and this is a German artist you don't know. He's called SHINee. His album came out around that time too, and I listened to a lot of that material as well. But yeah, in summer I feel like I generally listen to really happy music, you know, stuff that just makes me feel content, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And in autumn, autumn is melancholy in every way. You see, my most listened to artist in autumn was Sir. Sir is fucking great R&B artist. If you want to listen to him, by the way, he makes such great music. To be honest, I love his tone, his voice is it's so soothing. Just but I feel like that's kind of what my character is as well. You know, really, I feel like I'll always enjoy really soothing stuff, and that's actually what I wanted to. What was the indicator, or not really the indicator, but the what really what I really made me want to start this thing and just ramble on for a bit because the point I was thinking about was that music really we really listen to music that we admire certain qualities about because either we are missing those qualities or we would like to have those qualities or because we really enjoy having those qualities. And I feel like that's really what Sir is to me. Now he has this really beautiful tone, beautiful melodies. I love melody. I'm really like a melody guy. If I hear a catchy melody, the song could still be trash, and I really wouldn't care. But yeah, that is pretty much why I listen to Sir in the first place because his soothing voice is really something that you know the atmosphere is something I really admire and something I really enjoy. I really love calm music, soothing music with some nice melodies. I'm a sucker for piano samples as well because they make me feel really calm. And yeah, obviously, so not surprising. I this podcast you can't see it really because it's behind this T right here, but that's actually Peter's content-free podcast, which is kind of similar to what I'm doing here, with the only difference that I actually have some topics I talk about, and he's just pretty much really rambling about the most mundane stuff you've ever heard, and yeah. Um, okay, back to the Spotify Wrapped, but yeah, I mean, really, listening to music, you there's usually some sort of quality you envy about it, or an atmosphere that you enjoy, and yeah, that's pretty much why we listen to a lot of music because we love the feeling. The feeling of music is still the most important thing today, which is why I'm actually sometimes not a fan of the kind of videos I do. You know, the critiquing music because I feel like music is more about the feeling. I might think that a song is the most trash thing I've ever heard, but if somebody has a feeling that comforts them when they listen to the song, or that makes them feel sort of way, then that song has artistic value, in my opinion. And yeah, so that's why I kind of feel sometimes that critiquing stuff, you know, obviously you shouldn't take critique is also such a difficult thing to talk about. I feel like because I really enjoy critiquing. It really brings out your own thoughts and opinions. Because when I, for example, listen to or watch Anthony Fantano's reviews on YouTube, he's a probably the most famous music reviewer on YouTube, and what he does and what a lot of people do with it is pretty interesting because his his album reviews they gain a lot of traction when they're controversial or when he gives a high score, and people usually tend to gravitate towards what he thinks is good. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like what comes short in that is building your own opinion. A lot of people only rely on critics to think what is good. You should decide on your own what's good. I watch these things because I like to get a different opinion, really, of what other people think of it, or other meanings that people might see, or concepts, or really thoughts about the songs that they heard on the album. And that's something I really enjoy, and I think I really value about music criticism as a whole. Um, yeah. Just short disclaimer: I might actually talk about these topics in other videos, just more in depth. But this is just kind of me rambling on with my thoughts and a loose, kind of a loose structure around this thing. So yeah. Um, Actually, interesting. Not that interesting is that my number one artist is Kendrick Lamar. It's not a huge surprise. Listened to about 30 hours of Kendrick, and favorite song was Pride. And yeah, I mean, it's no surprise. Kendrick to me is artist of the decade. There's no doubt to me about that. He made two arguably classic albums of the decade in hip hop that honestly didn't change a lot about hip hop. I feel like Good Kid, Mad City had more impact on the sound of hip hop than To Pimp a Butterfly did, but To Pimp a Butterfly had a more impact on the bar that he raised when it comes to, you know, lyrical standard of rap and concept albums and creativity and really how serious you're taken as an artist. And yeah, so I consider Damn to be a very good album as well. I think a lot of people are trashing it way too hard. I have to admit though that I have not listened to it completely a lot of times. I listened to it a lot in the first year it came out, and then I just started, picking some songs out that I really enjoyed from the Pride, for example. Yeah is actually one of my favorites because it has this really mellow sound and really mellow rapping as well. So yeah, there are a lot of tunes on that album that I still really enjoy, and I think still that Duckworth is probably a top 5 Kendrick song ever. That song is so good. But yeah, I'm probably gonna make a video about Kendrick at some point in the future, but I want to make it right because it doesn't feel right to it doesn't feel just to make a video about him and just shit it out without any editing or without giving it enough thought or writing a script, because that's really what his music and his work deserves, and his identity as an artist. But yeah, let's get on to the next section, which is my top artists. Other than Kendrick, are number 2 Boogie. I listen to Boogie a lot. I really enjoyed a lot of his stuff, and it's really a lot of his stuff in my playlist. And yeah, probably one of the best discoveries of the year for me. Other than that, Brockhampton, I also really enjoyed. I mean, I've enjoyed them ever since their Saturation series, and I was really kind of sad when the whole thing with Amir happened, and to be honest, I'm pretty happy that he's back right now. But yeah, there are just so many good songs on their albums that are just catchy, and they have so much personality on these tracks and good flows and everything. So yeah, Brockhampton was really a staple of my Spotify sessions this year. Fourth is Mac Miller, to no surprise. I listen to a lot of Mac. I think actually the number should probably be higher than that. Number four, because I listen to Mac a lot, but yeah. Number five is actually a German artist, Neo Unleashed. Um, his stuff, it just kind of. Sometimes you have these artists that you kind of grew up with and that you really enjoyed so much at some point in your life that you just listen to it for the nostalgia, or because you still sometimes you're just a blatant fanboy, and that's pretty much why I listen to this guy. But yeah, I don't think this is very accurate of what I listen to, but yeah. Well, let's get on to the next section. I listen to stuff from around 32 countries. So yeah, I mean, I do listen to a lot of non-English stuff as well, like for example from Korea. I listen to some Korean rap. I mean, obviously we had Reggie Snow from Ireland. Honestly, Reggie Snow is one of my discoveries of the year as well. Honestly, you should check this dude out. He's so great. But yeah, I don't think there's a lot to be spent on this category, except that one point you could make is obviously that the internet has really changed a lot about how people consume music. I don't think in the 1960s or 70s that people would have ever thought to listen to music from so many countries. It's just we are so used to having access to everything around the world that we don't even get how different it was a few decades back, and yeah, it's really crazy how much our music consumption has changed in those years, to be honest, in those decades, and how different we consume music nowadays. But yeah. Um, okay, my top categories. Okay. This one really made me furious. Don't fucking know what pop rap is supposed to be. That's some dumb shit, to be honest. Everybody had that as their most listened thing, pretty much. From my Twitter timeline or Instagram posts. Most people had pop rap as their first most listened to genre, and number two, pop. And I don't know what Spotify considers these categories to be in. And I actually think that categories, they sometimes, of course, they sometimes help to categorize certain stuff. If you have a song and you don't know, and someone asks you, okay, what genre would that be in, or what sound, or does it sound like, and you can at least give them sort of an overview of what it might sound like. But I think in a lot of ways it sometimes confines people to listening to fewer music than they would otherwise. Because you can never really know if you enjoy a genre unless you listen to it. Besides, for example, if I listen to a metal song, I I wouldn't I wouldn't usually listen to metal, but if I wouldn't know it's metal and somebody just played me the song, I might like it. But yeah, I think genres really confine our music taste too much, and sometimes those reaction videos on YouTube, like metalhead reacts to hip hop, or I don't know, country singer or country fan reacts to hip hop, and I really enjoyed those videos. I think there should be more of that. People kind of getting out of their shell, getting out of their genre a bit, and listening to other stuff that they might enjoy. Because I've seen so many people who started enjoying hip hop, especially metalheads, and who really got into it, and now it's one of their favorite genres. And yeah, it's pretty much my take on what genres are good for and what genres are really stopping us from doing. And yeah, let's go ahead and get to the next one. Now, these are the songs I enjoyed the best. Number one is Baby Boy by Kevin Abstract. And to be honest, it's probably not my favorite of the year, I gotta say, if I'm honest. I really like the song. I listen to it a lot, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite one of the year. Okay, number two is Swap Meet. Uh, Now this is one of those songs where Boogie actually sings, and I just enjoy the melody so much that it just it just works. It just really works for me, and it has this melancholic, calm vibe to it, and he just knows how to write melodies, man. Number three is Come Back to Earth by Mac Miller, and I gotta say, if I would make a top 10 songs or top 10 favorite songs of the decade, this would probably be in my top two or three. The way this song makes me feel is actually probably probably has the most impact of any song on me. It just makes me feel so calm and just there. I don't think there's ever been a song that has made me feel more um, in tune with myself and with my personality and my situation and everything that's happening around me than this song. When this song comes on, I just feel good. I just feel comfortable, and I imagine myself relaxing, with a warm cup of coffee on a cold day. A warm cup of cocoa, not coffee. I don't drink coffee. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much what this song means to me, especially because Mac Miller is obviously one of my favorite artists. So yeah, this song means quite a lot to me. But you realize that there's a lot of boogie on this. So my number four song seems to be Skydive, which I listen to a lot. I imagine this would be higher up for sure, but yeah, number four I guess is still sufficient. It's one of those songs again. He's not a good singer, but the melodies are just too catchy. This is kind of a surprising one to me, but I didn't have this. I still haven't listened to one other song that she wrote other than this. The song is called "Make Me Cry," and it's from the Colors YouTube channel. If you haven't checked that out, you should probably do that. It's honestly really amazing. They showcase a lot of artists from around the world, and not only known artists but more unknown artists as well. And I've made a lot of great discoveries over the past year on that channel. This is just one of them. It's just one of those songs. I'm a huge R&B artist, and I think a few years acceptance is it's actually so much more accepted right now to listen to different sorts of music. I feel like if I told anyone I listened to this sort of stuff 5 years ago, nobody actually would have, you know, nobody would have taken me serious. Everyone was pretty much just laughed at me and said, "Wow, this is so soft. Why are you even listening to this? It's soft music. It's for girls." And I think we've actually come quite a long way from that. Where I feel like today it's so accepted. Nobody really gives a shit what other people think. You see all these rappers who love Billie Eilish and who are not afraid to show that on their Instagram. All these hip hop artists who usually proclaim to be very dangerous or pretend that they're a gangster or living such a good life, and then they're just chilling with a 17-year-old Billie Eilish. So yeah, it's pretty good that we've come so far as to just accepting the music taste and just getting rid of this sort of feeling that men have to listen to manly music and women have to listen to more soft music, which is fucking dumb. I've listened to my fair share of softer music over the years. I actually probably listen to more soft music right now, or more chill music than really hard, music. I don't really know how to describe it, but you probably get what I mean. Number six is another Boogie song, Silent Ride, and this was one of the singles from the album, and this is so great. It's another one of those. Most of his songs actually kind of get carried by his melodies. Even though he doesn't sing well, I still enjoy it. And I saw a lot of critics kind of being annoyed by his singing, but as I said before, if you get a certain feeling from it, if you enjoy it, and if this really gets a feeling out of you and gets you into an atmosphere you enjoy, then why not? Why not listen to it? And that's exactly why number 7 is Tired slash Reflections, which is honestly the lyrics on that song are underrated. There's so many good lyrics on that song. Number 8 is Gold because it's just one of the most cheerful fucking songs ever. I love this. I listen to all this in summer a lot, like a lot. That's probably the first Brockhampton song I would show everybody if they would ask me who that is. Number 9 is Deja Vu by Boogie, another one that I listen to really much, even though it's just 1 minute and 30 seconds. Yeah, just such a good song. Number 10 is also from the German artist called SHINee, and it's the song Dreams. Now, for the non-native speakers, this is, kind of a. Obviously the title Dreams is very obvious what it's about, and he just makes all these dream references in the song, and kind of packs them cleverly into a really clever song, a really good song. The hook is kind of not really my thing, but also it is, and I'm not still. After all these years, I'm still not quite sure on how to feel about it. But yeah, let's get on to the next one. My favorite. I listen to some podcasts, but I think you can pretty much just leave these out because I listened to some of them just once. Like I think I listened to these once and then not again. These are my main podcasts I listen to. The first one is Peter's Content Free Podcast, and it's pretty much just because I enjoy his voice so much. It's so soothing, it's so calm, it just puts me in a great atmosphere. And yeah, the other one is the Voice of the Report of the Week International Podcast, and it's kind of like a radio show, and he pretty much does the same thing as I do. Pretty much he just has one topic and then starts rambling about it, but he's so he speaks so intelligently about every topic that it's pretty much insane that he still has this much content. But yeah, just a short excursion into podcasts, and yeah, I actually listened to 6,000 minutes of podcasts. It's pretty insane, but yeah. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it about the Spotify Wrapped thing. So yeah, I mean, okay, we got another one. Basically, I found 383 new artists this year, which is pretty insane, I actually listen to so much music, and I just like to discover random music because, especially if you find an artist that has a lot of material out, you can just start going down the rabbit hole of listening to all their stuff, and if it's good, you're gonna be wowed, and you're gonna add so much to your playlist. And I feel like there's this sort of feeling where when you add something to your playlist, you're more happy to play that playlist, and you kind of really, yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it. If you add something to your playlist that you enjoy, especially, I saw a joke some while back where actually somebody said, when you add a song to a playlist and you put it in shuffle and it doesn't instantly play, and that was like the Thomas the Tank Engine meme where it says Thomas had never seen such bullshit before, and that was actually so true. Sometimes you just be putting songs in your playlists and then be angry when they don't play instantly. But yeah, I listened to a lot of SHINee, but it was more rediscovering than discovering new, and yeah. Oh yeah, that was a kind of a decade review, which is pretty interesting. We had this thing where it just got exponentially. I mean, not exponentially. There's a big fucking jump from 8,000 minutes to 51,000 minutes. But it's interesting to see how much more music I consumed the longer the time actually got. But yeah, this year I just listened to so much because I just realized how much I actually love listening to music and how much I love discovering new music, and how music really shapes how you feel a lot of times. You know, there are certain moods that music can actually create for you, where yeah, just kind of a special feeling. For example, with the song "Come Back to Earth" by Mac Miller, which I mentioned earlier, that song just puts me in a state of calmness and being content that no other song can. Okay, now this is a lie. I don't know why this is on here, because 2015 I did not listen to Spotify at all. I didn't even have an account back then. I don't know why this is on here, but yeah, I don't like this. I don't like Ed Sheeran. He has two good songs. I think there's the song with the puppets he had. I don't know what it's called right now, but he has some good songs, like two or three. But 2016 is pretty accurate, you know. Flexecution by Logic. I listened to a lot of Logic back then because, you know, it was kind of that era of my life where I was like, yeah, this is so good, you know. He's rapping so fast, homie has such a good flow, and oh my god, and yeah. 2017, Imagine Dragons Thunder, I don't really get why. I probably listened to that song once when I listened to the whole album, and I don't really get why that is on there. Like the statistics really might actually be kind of weird or off on this one, but yeah. Favorite artist Kendrick Lamar, and then after that, 2018. My favorite song was Location, which is so true. I fucking love that song. I listen to that song a lot. Now, it just kind of burned out. That's a problem with a lot of music I listen to. There's a lot of things where I think there's this sort of feeling when you've listened to a melody enough times, you don't get the same kick out of listening to it. You don't get the same feeling of listening to it. And I think that's kind of what happened with Location. It's a really fucking good song, and I really enjoyed it, but it's just kind of worn out at this point for me. But yeah, I don't think we have to talk about favorite artists. It's pretty clear that it's Kendrick pretty much every year after that. Um, 2019 favorite song Baby Boy, and favorite artist Kendrick Lamar. So there's no surprise there. Yeah, my artist of the century is Kendrick. There's no doubt about that, and it's not gonna change anytime soon unless his next album really bombs. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I think this is pretty accurate for this year. I don't think it's completely accurate, but there's a lot of it that is accurate. So that's pretty much everything about the Spotify Wrapped playlist. I've been already talking for way too long, but I just wanted to start rambling a bit and put out my thoughts in some form, so I can preserve them pretty much, even if it's only for myself, you know. Just kind of listening to how your own thoughts move, and how you move through certain topics is pretty interesting to see, especially when you think about what you could be doing better. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this episode. I hope that anybody watched this, that you actually enjoyed this, and I don't know, that you might find it calming as well. I don't know really how my voice sounds, or how bad the recording really is, so yeah, pretty interested to see how this is going to be perceived, and if anybody's really going to listen to it, but yeah, nevertheless, if you want to listen to more of my stuff, I'm probably going to do this at some point again, maybe even with some friends, so yeah. If you want to see more of that, subscribe to me, and you know, you can like the video if you want to. I don't really care. I don't really give a shit about likes or dislikes, but you can want to if you can do it if you want to. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this sort of podcast thingy where I kind of, you know, talk about some stuff I enjoy, some topics I find interesting. So yeah, see you guys next time.